Alright, so this is my basic wash down after pouring off from a job. Slight rinse into the drum, just quick back wash, pump job, regular routine for some things. Can't always do that, you gotta be wary on that. Now, throw my gloves on real quick. Usually grab my hose, less of that from around the front end. Start walking my way up the catwalk, steps to the platform. Pop my rails up right after rinsing my downspout right quick. Trying to get behind the boot on that kind of helps ensure getting some of the chunks that might stay locked in behind the boot and the back side of the downspout. Try to keep everything fairly wet or, lightly rinsed throughout the wash down because things splatter. As long as you keep it wet, it'll stay standing there. Slightly rub powders and whatnot with your hands, and it'll actually help break it free and rinse it off too. Catch it fresh. Let it set. Concrete does what it does. Turns to concrete, bud. So you notice I'm working the back side of the fins every time I'm working around the front and back. Hitting the side over on the wipe is a big deal because it causes buildup and excess things, and that wipe ends up wearing back quick, ends up causing more issues. Concrete over your cab, pillars, bridge, etc. I always try to make sure I get around my motor for my turret because that's a big deal. I just don't like excess concrete buildup around there. Inside the turret, you got the rotary where it actually, they rotate inside one piece to another, just like a tank turret. If you have concrete buildup in there and you have rock in there, what happens? Rocks don't move rocks too well, so it ends up having a jam up point. Anywhere you see concrete pretty much build up on a mixer, you pretty much spray it down. I work back and behind the downspout shield right there because sometimes you get a little bit of 8s and 57s that flow back up in there with a little bit of powder, and next thing you know, just a little bit of buildup in there causes that and any buildup on the ring inside the turret to cause the jam up for your chute not to swing fully one way or the other. Had that on past mixers. After I do the basic wash on the front, I go back through and work my fins. I work the holes, I work the fins, I spray up into the holes, I spray different directions up into the holes, I spiral spray sometimes because it deflects water off the fins to the back side of the fin in front of it. There's multiple ways to actually go about this. It's all trial and error. It took me the better part of probably 3 to 4 months at least to get a good spray pattern down on actually keeping things tidy. There is brass tips you can actually get to put on the end of these Gilmore nozzles. It does help because it's a pinpoint pressure blast on your whatever point you want to hit. Helps peel material if you got buildup in there, any kind of pack from wet sand, wet material, wet whatever. If it packs in your holes and in between your fins, if I got a severe pack, or like now I'm trying to show you inside the drum, I usually pop the hopper up. Always make sure your hopper's in good condition with your air lines and no leaks. That way it's not going to drop down on you during a wash down. But I have a newer truck. I'm very aware of my equipment and everything I'm dealing with and of all my actions and everything around me. Special awareness is what I'm into. So I start working the rim on the outside because usually I spray down towards the wipe, going down into the downspout for the discharge hopper itself. That shoots down to the downspout and out. Then I work around to the bridge and the A-frame down below the direct top of the drum because you get a lot of creep buildup in there, and any kind of wear on the wipe at all, you'll have some kind of buildup in there, just a slight bit of something. When you spray off your drum, it'll collect and go down in there, just a couple 8s, all it takes, and a little bit of powder goes with it. Work your way around it. Like I said before, man, everywhere where you see concrete or powder or any kind of stain on this truck, it's a white truck, so stains stick out, bro. Wipe it real quick. Just take your hand with your glove, just wipe it real quick. I go through a lot of gloves. It's just a part of the job, man. It's what we do. Spray it down real good. And I don't take a shit ton of water. I mean, I might use 20 to 30 gallons on most wash downs. I vary my spray from a fan spray to a pinpoint spray to full blast to I range the whole time I'm washing down. It's all trial and error, like I said. But if you actually focus on what you're doing, have a little bit of awareness of what's going on and how you're working your stuff, you can be more efficient, more practical, and have a really good wash down. I'd say between 3 and 7 minutes average. With shoots, 10 to 15 minutes usually, depending on the weather and other conditions and circumstantial shit, you know. But this is what I got. This is what I'm going with. And this is what rocks this tumbler. So, with that, rock on.
And that's what we got.